Welcome, YouTubers. Good to see you. This next session on algebra, we're going to look at writing verbal expressions from math statements. So some things to remember here is that some of the operators are plus, minus, times, and the division symbol. And we have words for those like sum, difference, product, and quotient for these symbols. YouTubers, another important thing that you should remember is that expressions don't have equal. However, equations, they do have equal in them. So let's go ahead and look at a few expressions. You'll notice these statements do not have equal in them. So, for example, this k minus 1 is an expression. And we're going to go ahead and take these expressions and write them in verbal form, in words. So our first expression, so if we start to look at our expression, our first expression is k minus 1. Well, you could go ahead and write it exactly as I just said it. Or you could write 1 less than k. So again, there's different ways to verbally express this math expression here. Okay? So this first one, you could say k minus 1, you could also say 1 less than k. Okay, so there's not just one way to write the verbal expression. Let's go ahead and look at another example of this. Let's look at this one. This expression, another expression here. We have this right here, this expression. 20 increased, again, increase is for the plus, by twice x, 2 times x. Remember, there's always this multiplication symbol in here, or operator. So again, remember, there's not just the times operator right here, not just this right here symbol, but however, we can also write it as this symbol right here. And again, verbally, we can say this is 20 increased by twice x. So that's the verbal form of the math expression. Okay, let's go ahead and look at another example. Okay, our next example we see down here. Here's an expression. Remember, there's no equal, so it is an expression. It's not an equation. So we could say the sum, we're adding, of twice r cubed, that's to the third power. We could also say r to the third power. That's just fine. And 3. We could use plus 3, increased by 3, but here we just chose to use and 3. So again, not just one way to write the verbal expression, different ways. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. So let's go ahead and look at this next one. Here is an expression, and we're going to go ahead and write it. 1/3 is the fraction, the square of c. And now what we need to put in there is 1/3 times the square of c, where the square is to the second power. The square is to the second power. So here's our math expression. Here's our verbal expression. 1/3 times the square of c. Could I have put, instead of square, the second power? Yes, I could. I could have said this is to the second power of c. So again, not just one way to do it. So perhaps several ways to write that. Let's go ahead and look at another expression. Here's one right here. And we're going to go ahead and write that in verbal form. Remember, there's not just one way to write that, but we're going to go ahead and look at it. We can say it was twice, 2 times. Remember, there's this multiplication operator right there. Twice b squared. I could say b to the second power, but here I've chosen to say b squared. Plus, you could say plus, definitely, you could say increased. You could say added to, but we chose plus 3 cubed. So 3 to the third power, 3 cubed. So again, algebra concept here. Very important that you can transfer from a verbal expression, get a verbal expression, I should say, from math statements. Okay, so welcome again. Thank you for watching this YouTube. Remember to subscribe. Send those questions to me as we look at different algebra concepts. Thank you. Have a good day.